On a sweltering June afternoon in Ahmedabad, life moved at its usual pace near the BJ Medical College hostel. The air shimmered with heat, and the city's familiar sounds, vendors calling out, rickshaws honking, students chatting, blended into a steady hum. No one suspected that this ordinary day would soon be seared into memory. No one noticed Air India Flight AI171, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, as it began its ascent toward London. The plane's engines roared to life, but to the people below, it was just another aircraft tracing its path across the sky. Suddenly, the jet's familiar hum twisted into a desperate, unnatural roar. The sound cut through the city's routine, sharp and alarming, as if the sky itself was crying out in warning. People on the ground froze, eyes drawn upward as the plane flew dangerously low, its nose pitched at an odd angle. Confusion turned to fear as the aircraft's struggle became clear to all. The Dreamliner, struggling for lift, was losing its battle with gravity. Its engines strained, but the massive jet could not climb, its fate sealed in those critical seconds. In a matter of seconds, the aircraft tilted, engines screaming, and began a rapid, uncontrolled descent. The city below watched, powerless, as disaster hurtled toward them. The city watched in horror as the plane plummeted, not toward an open field, but straight into the densely populated area beside the airport. There was no time to react, no chance to escape. Panic erupted as people ran, barely comprehending the disaster unfolding above them. Screams echoed through the streets as families grabbed children and strangers pulled each other to safety. The aircraft, loaded with 242 people and tons of fuel, became a missile aimed at the heart of the city. In those final moments, every second felt stretched and surreal. The impact was catastrophic. A fireball erupted, sending a mushroom cloud of smoke and flames skyward. The blast was felt for miles, a deafening roar that shook the very ground. The explosion shattered windows for miles, the shockwave rippling across Ahmedabad. Buildings trembled, and glass rained down onto the streets below. The BJ Medical College hostel, once alive with students, vanished in the inferno. Flames devoured the building, erasing years of memories and moments. In seconds, a place of youthful dreams was reduced to devastation. The ruins smoldered, silent testimony to the lives changed forever. The blue sky turned black with smoke, marking the site of unimaginable tragedy. The city's skyline was forever altered, a scar visible for miles. Sirens wailed as emergency crews rushed toward the chaos. Firefighters, doctors, and volunteers poured in, desperate to help, their faces etched with shock and determination. Survivors and witnesses could only stare, stunned at the destruction. The world they knew had changed in an instant, replaced by a nightmare of smoke and ruin. The city's ordinary day had been shattered forever. Streets once filled with laughter and life now lay silent, covered in debris and sorrow. In the aftermath, silence fell, broken only by the distant cries of those searching for loved ones. Grief and disbelief hung heavy in the air as families clung to hope amid the devastation. Amid the devastation, a single figure emerged from the wreckage. Video footage captured the sole survivor, dazed, bloodied, and limping, walking away from the smoldering ruins as emergency workers rushed to his side. He was the only one to make it out alive from the Air India crash that claimed every other life on board. Ahmedabad would never be the same. The city, once bustling and bright, now mourned together, united by loss and the memory of a sky that fell without warning. In the wake of the tragedy, Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg cancelled his plans to attend the Paris Air Show next week, as reported by Reuters. Ortberg stated that Boeing will fully support the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board and India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau in their investigation into the crash of the 787 Dreamliner in India. Air India Flight AI171's journey was supposed to be routine, a standard flight, just like hundreds before it, with nothing out of the ordinary expected. At 1:38 p.m., the Dreamliner lifted off from the runway, carrying 242 passengers and crew, all bound for London, their hopes and plans for the day still intact. But just 14 seconds after takeoff, the unthinkable happened. A frantic mayday call crackled from the cockpit, signaling catastrophic failure and immediate danger. Air traffic controllers scrambled to respond, but the pilots were already locked in a desperate struggle, fighting to keep the aircraft stable as chaos erupted in the cockpit. The plane failed to gain altitude. Its engines screamed in protest, and critical systems began to fail at the worst possible moment, leaving the crew with few options. In just 30 seconds, a devastating chain of failures unfolded, sealing the fate of everyone on board and leaving no time for recovery. Instead of climbing, the aircraft hovered dangerously low, veered off its intended course, and banked sharply toward the city's medical college, putting countless lives at risk below. The final moments inside the cabin were a terrifying plunge, passengers and crew bracing for impact, fear and confusion filling the air. The Dreamliner struck the hostel with immense force, shattering the building and the aircraft in an instant. Full fuel tanks ignited instantly, engulfing both the plane and the building in a massive, fiery explosion that could be seen for miles. Emergency services rushed to the scene, but they were quickly overwhelmed by the sheer scale of destruction and chaos that greeted them. 30 seconds of terror in the air became an eternity of grief on the ground, as families and rescuers confronted the unimaginable loss. The city was left reeling, its people searching for answers, forever marked by the tragedy of AI171's final moments. The crash of AI171 was not just a mechanical failure, it was the loss of 242 lives, each with a story. Most passengers were Indian citizens, many from Gujarat, joined by British, Portuguese, and Canadian travelers. Entire families perished, their dreams and futures erased in an instant. A family of 6 from Ahmedabad en route to a wedding was lost. Children, parents, newlyweds, and professionals, all gone. Among the victims was former Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani, his last-minute booking adding a public face to private grief. The passenger list was a tapestry of hopes and connections, now torn apart. Each name represented a universe of relationships and dreams. The tragedy was deeply personal for every family left behind. The loss rippled through communities, workplaces, and across nations. Behind every statistic was a life, a story, and a future stolen. The crash was a stark reminder of the human cost behind every disaster. The devastation extended beyond the sky. Its impact was felt deep within the heart of the city. On the ground, BJ Medical College was transformed from a place of learning to a scene of horror, its familiar halls now echoing with sirens and cries for help. The plane crashed directly into a student hostel, collapsing it instantly and turning a sanctuary for young minds into a site of unimaginable tragedy. 28 medical students lost their lives that day, their dreams of healing others cut short before they could even begin. Over 60 more were injured, many left with wounds that would take years to heal, if they ever truly could. Many suffered severe burns and trauma, both physical and emotional, forever marked by the disaster. The timing was cruel. Most students were in their rooms studying, resting, or talking with friends, completely unaware of the impending disaster. In those final moments, life was ordinary, untouched by the tragedy about to unfold. Chaos erupted as survivors and faculty rushed to rescue friends from the rubble, desperate to save lives amid the devastation. Fires from jet fuel made rescue efforts perilous, with thick smoke and flames threatening everyone who tried to help. First responders faced a war zone, risking their own safety to bring order to chaos and hope to the hopeless. They battled flames and searched for survivors, working tirelessly through the night. The emotional wound to the college community is deep and lasting, a pain that lingers in every corner of the campus. The hostel was more than a building. It was a home, filled with memories and laughter, now reduced to ruins. The loss left a permanent scar on the institution, a reminder of lives interrupted and futures lost. Students and staff now face the daunting task of rebuilding, determined to restore what was lost but forever changed by the tragedy. They are haunted by memories of that day, carrying the weight of loss as they move forward. The tragedy at BJ Medical College will never be forgotten, its story etched into the soul of the community for generations to come. The Dreamliner at the center of the disaster, Vermont, ANB, had a troubling maintenance history. In service for 11 years, it had missed 2 scheduled maintenance cycles in the past year, a serious breach of safety. These checks are vital for ensuring airworthiness. Just days before the crash, a pilot reported unusual engine vibrations, a warning that should have triggered immediate inspection. It's unclear if any action was taken. The missed checks and ignored warnings suggest systemic failures. The crash may have been the tragic result of neglect, not just bad luck. Investigators must now determine if these lapses directly led to the disaster. VTANB's history is a chilling reminder. Aviation safety demands constant vigilance. Every warning sign matters. Investigators quickly sought answers, sifting through wreckage and eyewitness accounts. Early theories pointed to a mix of human error and mechanical failure. Reports suggest the pilots may have failed to extend the flaps for takeoff, making the plane unstable. Delayed landing gear retraction added drag, dooming the climb. The explosion's violence was fueled by full tanks, complicating the investigation. The black boxes were recovered but badly damaged by fire, slowing efforts to extract vital data. Only these recordings can reveal the final seconds and confirm what went wrong. Amid the devastation, one story of survival emerged. Vishwashkumar Ramesh, a British Indian student, was the sole survivor. Found alive in the wreckage, he suffered severe injuries and remains in critical condition. His seat near an emergency exit may have shielded him from the worst of the impact. Asleep during the crash, he avoided the bracing injuries that claimed others. Doctors call his survival a miracle. His family, torn between relief and sorrow, rushed to his side. Vishwashkumar's improbable escape is a testament to the randomness of survival. For grieving families, his story is both a symbol of hope and a reminder of loss. His recovery will be long and uncertain. In a tragedy of hundreds, one life endures against all odds. The crash sent shockwaves across India and the world. Prime Minister Modi expressed deep sorrow, promising support and a thorough investigation. The UK's Foreign Office dispatched a consular team to assist British families. Boeing, facing its first fatal Dreamliner crash, pledged full cooperation. The investigation became an international effort, with experts from India, the US, and Boeing working together. The world watched, demanding answers and accountability. The tragedy united nations in grief and resolve. As the smoke clears, the legacy of AI171 is one of loss and urgent lessons. The crash exposed failures in maintenance, training, and oversight. Even advanced aircraft are vulnerable to human error and neglect. The deaths of 28 students on the ground highlight the risks airports pose to nearby communities. For families, the pain is immeasurable and enduring. The only way to honor the victims is to learn from every mistake. The investigation must be relentless and transparent. The world must ensure such a tragedy never happens again.